Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Last week, Governor John DeYoung requested a special Senate session with some urgent agenda. One of them, the appropriation of $5 million for preliminary procedures of an anticipated litigation process against Hovensa. What do the senators have to say about the request? News 2's April Knight has details.
The row between the VI government and Avenza rages on, and the worst fears of some, a high-priced legal battle, seems all but imminent. Today, the Senate considered the governor's request to approve a $5 million budget to be used toward the impending litigation against Hovensa. And that's just for starters.
You can't start a case and then halfway down the road, you get pulled and you say, well, okay, there's no more money to continue paying export fees. This $5 million is a start. Once we start down that road, we got to keep putting gas in the tank. No pun intended, but.
He also raised that the government could be fighting several battlefronts in the courtroom with Hovensa and in the streets with a possible fuel shortage. The testimony from the Attorney General stirred some passionate reactions among the senators, some of whom feel that the territory is being portrayed as weak and hard-pressed to put up a legal fight.
I'm going to fight them with every resources that we have. And I don't like my enemies to know that we have some weak link or something like that.
There are those who believe that the government stands on solid legal ground, unlike Avenza, which has to face its breach of contract.
They're trying to leave, and they've left a big mess for which the EPA will hold them responsible, and their breach of contract will hold them responsible. I would not want to be in Hovensa's position.
We're backing you 100% on that. So step to them with confidence and let them know we are here.
In spite of differences in opinion, most senators agree that they will need strong community support to win this battle.
Senator Hansen's idea of asking our attorneys to come out massively and support.
April Knight, News 2.
And News 2 will keep you up to date on the legislature's decision on the governor's proposals. There are still fears that Hovensa's fuel racks may soon be exhausted and might leave the St. Croix community without fuel for their vehicles, homes, or businesses. Whereas before, Hovensa refused to just reveal just how much fuel is left in the tanks. It recently released a statement saying that if current sales volumes keep up, it will have enough fuel in storage to continue sales at the rack until October 31st of this year for regular gasoline and December 31st, 2013 for premium gasoline, ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel, and jet fuel. 4 Virgin Islands companies received federal grants to help them become more energy efficient and reduce their dependence on the power grid. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack announced the recipients of the Rural Energy for America program, or REAP. The grants this week, which are funded by the U.S. Department of Agriculture program authorized in the 2008 Farm Bill. 2+2 LLC, Sunny Isle Developers LLC, Stowaway Self-Storage, and Legacy Restaurants LLC all received awards for energy efficiency and improvement projects. VIPD officers were dispatched to a discharge of shots in the Williams Delight area around 5:30 p.m. on August 17th. Officers arriving in the area intercepted a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed on the Melvin Evans Highway and stopped the vehicle. Police saw the victim in the passenger seat and escorted him to the hospital. The 23-year-old victim said he was sitting in a truck and heard several shots being fired. He felt a burning sensation in his buttocks and realized he was shot. He said he told a family member who took him to the hospital. Meanwhile, police on St. Thomas are investigating 2 first-degree robberies that occurred over the weekend. About 11:30 p.m. on August 18th, a man told police that while walking near the fish market in Hospital Ground, he was approached by 2 men. One pointed a gun at the victim and demanded money, which the victim gave him. On the same day, about 11 p.m., the second robbery occurred at the Galleon Guest House. The female victim said as she opened the door to the guest house, a suspect came from the rear, pointed a gun, and demanded her money and cell phone. No one was hurt in either robberies, and police are investigating both cases. Well, around 5 a.m. on Sunday, a woman now identified as 59-year-old Neldine Foster was walking with her 4-year-old grandson in Christiansted on North Shore Road when she was struck by a vehicle and died at the scene. News 2's Shanika Robinson has more.
Police are still seeking the driver of a vehicle involved in a fatal hit-and-run accident that occurred on August 18th at about 5 a.m.
The community is asked to be on the lookout for a black or dark-colored Suzuki Vitara, Grand Vitara, or a Sidekick, which left the scene of the accident.
The vehicle struck and killed 59-year-old Naldine Foster, who was walking with her 4-year-old grandson in Christiansted on North Shore Road in the area of the doctor's office just west of the district court.
The vehicle will have damages to the front end that could include damages to the left or right front bumper, the front grille, the hood, or the front windshield. Damages could even be on either side panels or doors. All body shops and repair businesses on St. Croix are asked to call police immediately upon seeing a vehicle fitting this description.
The Daily News reported that a woman by the name of Jasmine Hodge found the 4-year-old boy wandering in the roadway in the rain and possibly saved his life because the driver of the vehicle did not stop to render assistance. Police are asking the community to help them find the owner of the vehicle that was involved in this accident and to also come forward with any information they may have. Information can be relayed to detectives at 712-6037, Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-8477, and police at 911.
Officers are also asking the person who is involved in this accident to contact a police officer or come to the police station.
DUI checkpoints will continue to be in effect on St. Croix and the St. Thomas St. John district through the end of the Labor Day holidays. Shaniqua Robinson reporting for News 2.
Once again, be sure to call police if you have any information on this fatal hit-and-run accident. Well, Virgin Islanders were glued to their television sets to watch St. Croix showcased on Bizarre Foods America Monday night. The Travel Channel and host Andrew Zimmern put the Big Island front and center for more than 3 million viewers. News2's Erica Parsons has more.
Bizarre Foods America put St. Croix in the spotlight Monday night, and more than 3 million viewers tuned in to see why. Host Andrew Zimmern journeyed to St. Croix in January to show the world the culinary creativity and the unique cuisine offered by the Big Island.
I think the Bizarre Foods America featuring St. Croix was fantastic. It was an opportunity for at least 3 million viewers to see our home, not only being beautiful, but having something else to offer to them when they come to visit, which is great food, and such a wide spectrum of food.
The episode shined the light on all that's not typically American, like roadside vendors selling specialties like roti or goat water and blood pudding. Zimmern visited local farmers and fishermen, all the while sampling their savory offerings. He profiled Annalee Farms, both the cattle herding and the live butchering. He tasted bullfoot soup and went on a land crab hunt. It sparked conversations on social media with mostly positive comments like this one. Bizarre Foods was awesome. You can see Andrew truly enjoyed everything he ate here. Zimmern saw and did even more than was featured. Those clips can also be seen.
We took a lot of footage of great people, but what I'm pleased about is that some of the footage that didn't make it into that episode is featured on their website. And so you have an opportunity to see a whole host of other Crucians offering the best of themselves. And if you missed the episode, it lives on the internet forever.
And while all might not have been bizarre for residents who experience these things every day, Zimmern and his crew showed all that's beautiful about St. Croix. Erica Parsons, News 2.
The Department of Tourism worked closely with the Tremendous Entertainment production team for the 12-day shoot in January. The episode will re-air on the Travel Channel and can also be seen on the channel's website. Well, the White House says it has not cut off aid to Egypt in light of the violence that has spread across the country. Tara Mergina reports there is a growing debate about the United States' financial commitment.
The White House says a decision about whether to stop military aid to Egypt has not been made.
Our aid and assistance relationship with Egypt is under a review, but it has not been cut off.
The United States supplies $1.5 billion in military and economic aid to Egypt each year. The Obama administration is reviewing that commitment after the interim government's deadly crackdown on supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi. Almost 1,000 people have died in the last week.
This interim Egyptian government has made promises to transition back to a democratically elected civilian government. The violence that they perpetrated last week and has continued at least into the weekend and the early parts of this week are contrary to that promise.
President Obama huddled with his national security team at the White House Tuesday afternoon to discuss future aid. So far, he's delayed the delivery of some F-16 fighter jets. Egypt's finance minister says losing U.S. assistance would not hurt his economy.
We're getting some money or even more money from another place. So in a way, at the end of the day, my books are okay. So I'm not too worried.
Saudi Arabia has already pledged to make up for any financial losses. Egyptian security forces are continuing their crackdown on Muslim Brotherhood leaders behind the pro-Morsi protests. Tuesday, they arrested the group's supreme leader, Mohammed Boudia, charging him with inciting violence. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
And keeping our eye on the economy, Best Buy and Home Depot are among the retailers out with better than expected profits. But Barnes & Noble's loss more than doubled last quarter. The company's chairman is also calling off his offer to buy the struggling bookseller. Barnes & Noble is said to be reviewing its business strategy after its CEO left this summer and the company decided to stop making its Nook-colored tablets. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow down 7, NASDAQ and S&P up 24 and 6. Coming up on News 2, please, pardon, and thank you. How important are manners and good etiquette? Well, did you know there's etiquette for just about every situation you can imagine? We'll have that coming up next. A major collaborative effort between government and private sector has taken place. In June 2012, the Education Department received a $2.6 million grant award from the Institute of Education Sciences to support the design and implementation of the Virgin Islands Virtual Information Systems, VIVIS. Now, this will allow the government to track academic trends, move quickly to correct problems, and build on strengths in our schools. It will also provide data from early childhood through K through 12, through higher education to the workforce. The project is spearheaded by Governor John DeYoung Jr., the Department of Education, under Acting Commissioner Donna Fred Gregory. She is the project's sponsor. The time frame for completion is 2 years. Well, WTJX Channel 12 and the Department of Labor are hosting a workshop for instructors of the new GED courses. The Trainers Workshop for the 2014 GED preparatory courses will be held in both districts at the Department of Labor during September. The St. Thomas session will be September 26th in the department's conference room, and the St. Croix session will be held September 27th, also in the Labor's conference room. The new test is aligned with the Common Core standards, and the one-day workshop will give instructors information on how to prepare individuals for the 2014 test. You can contact Monique Walters to register, and the number is 774-6255. Well, Back to School Parental Conference will be held on Sunday, August 25th, and all are invited. The annual conference will be held at the St. Croix Educational Complex, begins at 3 p.m., and will feature retired Colonel Consuelo Castillo Kirkbush, founder of the nationally recognized Educational Achievement Services, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering a new generation of Hispanic leaders. Through the organization, Kirkbush has worked with more than 1 million children, parents, and educators in 43 states. Kirkbush encourages students to follow their dreams and make a difference in their own communities. For more information on that conference, you can contact Jeanette Brow at 773-1095. Please, pardon, and thank you. How important are manners and good etiquette? Did you know there is etiquette for just about every situation you can imagine? Well, the founder of the Virgin Islands Etiquette Institute reminds us why it's so important to mind our manners.
Remember those please and thank yous, common etiquette reminders, but because of changing times, we can sure add a lot more to that list.
How to talk with a confident leadership voice, how to give a proper handshake, how to dress appropriately, how to look an adult in the eyes and talk to them without, lowering your eyes or being shy, speaking up, how to know how to enter a table, how to hold a knife and fork, and so forth.
The Virgin Islands Etiquette and Leadership Institute was established in 2006 as a vehicle for teaching some of these skills. Founder Lisa Wynn Magnuson has been an educator for over 10 years and believes that along with academic skills, students need to learn proper social behavior.
But many times we don't have the time to sit down and say, you know, honey, this is how you set the table. This is where the knife goes and this is where the fork goes. And a lot of parents don't have the time to do that anymore. So you have a breakdown in society where the baton hasn't been passed, so to speak.
After 6 weeks of classes, 9 young ladies received their certificate of completion this past Saturday during a ceremonial lunch at the Twisted Cork in Frenchtown.
Studies have shown that with the emergence of technology over the past few decades, a lot of us have gotten so involved by communicating electronically, let's say. People have forgotten that people have lost that getting along, so to speak, talking with someone and watching them in their eyes, or giving a proper handshake for that matter, being humane, so to speak. We have gotten so lost, so involved in technology that we forgot the human factor. And the world is changing at an incredible speed. And we are seeing that a lot of corporations are seeing that their managers, their higher ups are having a hard time in communicating with their subordinates or vice versa, because they don't know how to be human, how to be respectful, how to talk and get your point across without having to be arrogant, having to be mean-spirited, or without having to appear to be a bully, quite frankly. And a lot of corporations are now hiring what you call etiquette consultants. Okay, it's about treating each other nice. It's about being the best human being that you can be. And a lot of us don't get time to learn those skills because we're so busy doing other things. Etiquette is based on those 3 things: respect, consideration, and honesty.
Congratulations to the 10 young ladies who completed the course. They learned everything from public speaking, dressing for success, and dining skills. Well, on Monday morning, Governor John DeYoung Jr. met with the new coordinating officer for the U.S. Army North Region, Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Carconian, FITEMA Director Elton Lewis, and others in an effort to update the governor on levels of preparedness for natural and man-made disasters in the territory. The governor was also provided with an overview of the year-round planning that takes place. Given that the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season is fast approaching, the officials also discussed the overall federal response plan to assist the territory should the Virgin Islands experience a hurricane or the effects of other tropical weather systems. And speaking of which, be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.